control?
Hello. Hello again. Welcome to the show. We have a really special guest for you today. We have a musician and songwriter. His name is Joe Nott, and he's going to play a song for you. So let's get started. Here you go, Joe Nott.
All right, Todd. Blues. I got a couch that you can't see. Blinds my sight of serenity. Controlling my mind. Poles all split. Don't you understand? Can't you understand? I got a couch that you can't see. What about society's needs? Then on me. Sometimes the ocean may be the sea. Yeah. I'm gonna swim as far as I can. I'm gonna swim as far as I can. I'm gonna swim as far as I can without drowning in my fears.
Yeah. All right. Joe, great job. That was fantastic. All right, so that was a song called Polar. Is that the right song? We're going to talk about that. Good. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And so I have some questions for you.
Okay.
First question, when you're ready.
Yep.
When did you first start playing guitar?
I first started playing when I was 18. Older than than most, I would say. But my sister had cancer. She was diagnosed with a rare brain tumor, esthesioneuroblastoma, which is a rare brain tumor known for like babies and infants. And she was 23 when she was diagnosed. Wow. And she was a major, influence on me. I mean, she was a prodigy singer and actress. So whenever I would go see her play, I would always gravitate toward the guitar and be like, guitar is going to be my instrument, if I ever play an instrument, know. And my sister had guitars strewn all across the house because her boyfriend at the time made guitars. So there were guitars all over the house that I was living. And so I would just pick one up one day and just started to play. And then my sister unfortunately passed away October 28th, 1993, which is around like 7 days after my 19th birthday. So it was basically, I don't mean to sound trite or anything, but I'm going to be honest, it was either kill myself and join her. That's how like close I was to her. Her name was Danielle Nott. And or find something to do that is going to be a complete escape. Yeah. And that I could get good at. And once I started playing, I was shortly taking lessons thereafter, and the rest is history. I found out what I wanted to do for a living.
That's great.
And the escape I was looking for.
Fantastic. Good. When was the first time you were diagnosed with mental illness? I got sober in July of 1998, after, a stint out there of, and I put the drinking and drugs down for the first time in my life up to that point. I was 23 years old in 1998. And what happened was when I put the drinking and drugs down, I wasn't self-medicating anymore. So about a year, maybe less, into my recovery is when the mental illness reared its ugly head. And when I was in rehab, they already had diagnosed me with some type of mental illness. When I got out, I was taking a little something, but for it. For a little something
through a doctor, maybe some Prozac or something. But I didn't know anything about it. I was very young and naive, and I felt good, and I just thought that it was just sobriety. The fruits of sobriety taking over, and and then like I said, about a year later, what happened was I started staying awake all night. For about 5 or 6 days, and I'm also a house painter, so I was painting houses for my boss, and I was doing them at a very productive in productive time. Let's just say that, and not sleeping, and painting a house in a day or whatever, and
not sleeping and painting a day.
Not sleeping and painting, right. I just thought it was like part of recovery, it's part of me being sober,
feeling good,
feeling good, feeling elated, feeling like a lot of energy. Also, I'm a poet and a songwriter, so I was writing a lot of poetry, a lot of, just a lot of thoughts, a lot of, what I thought was like real productive, time spent, on the guitar as well. And some of it was, and some of it's garbage, but, but it's true, and when I'm in that state, hopefully I'll, but in a manic state, you feel like everything is like that you do. It's like an epiphany. It's
everything is
great.
genius.
Everything is genius. Everything is great. Right. When in reality, I look back on it, I still have some of those. And I'm like, this is good. This is not so good.
It's hard to decipher.
Yeah, it's hard to decipher.
So, would you consider that to be one of your first manic episodes?
That was my first episode. It was, I was probably awake for about 6 days, and then on the 7th day, maybe, and everything came to me.
You crashed on the
Everything
on
the seventh day I crashed. Everything came to me as a result of being in recovery. Like, my girlfriend came from Ohio to live with me, and I had everything. I had the job, and the music was going good.
You were
and
living in
everything.
Ohio at the time.
Yeah, I lived in Ohio. Ohio is where I bottomed out on booze and drugs. I went out there. I was going to California.
That was the mission.
That was the mission. And a friend of mine told me, why don't you come to Ohio State? He was going to OSU at the time, Ohio State University. And he's like, stay for a couple of days and then continue on with your journey. I said, that sounds great. And kind of stayed
stuck.
there, got stuck. Yeah, spent all my money in a few days. And
how many years did you?
I spent almost 3 years there.
3 years in Ohio.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say like 1994 to, a little under 1998, 95 to 98, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and so everything was coming so quickly. I had the life, and then, about 7 days after I crashed and I wound up in a fetal position on the floor, not knowing what was going on, having, my brain tell me, like, it's over. It's over. Like, you're done.
Thought you were going to die.
Yeah, like it's over. It's over.
You thought your life was completely finished.
Yeah, my life was completely in shambles. That's the way I was feeling. And I had touch-ups to do on the house that I painted in a few hours. And so, my girlfriend was freaked. She didn't know what was going on, She just let me go to work. So I got in my car. I only had touch-ups to do. And I was told by her and by my family that day it was very sunny out. And I could tell you, Todd, that, and whoever's going to be watching this, that I saw black. I saw black, like gray, like it was like really just totally overcast and gloom and doom, weather. That's what I saw.
So this was the opposite side of the mania.
Oh yeah.
This was the depressive side.
Absolutely. So I was, going down there. It was on Central Avenue in Yonkers, the job, and I get there and I couldn't even do the touch-up work. Couldn't even do it. I went in the closet where I had all my paint supplies, and locked myself in there for a little while. Then I can remember.
You're kind of freaking out.
I can't remember some of it, and it was years and years ago. I mean, I was 24, so. But I remember, but I do remember it quite vividly. And then I told the old lady that I was painting the house for, I can't do the touch-ups. And I actually called my boss. I was like, I can't do it. And he's like, what are you talking about? You only have some touch-ups. And I was like, I can't do it. Click. And I got in my car and I was driving back up to my house. And then something told me why don't you go into the guardrail? Why don't you, take your car?
Were you hearing voices?
No, I wasn't hearing voices. It was just, that was my thought.
These were your thoughts?
These were my thoughts.
Intrusive
thoughts. These were my intrusive thoughts. Why don't you, it's over. Why don't you hit the guardrail? And by the grace of God, I didn't go into the guardrail, and
Thank goodness.
managed to get back.
Excuse me.
It didn't stop there. My sister was called, by my girlfriend. She was freaked out. Everyone was freaked out, and the cops came over, and I had a real, true psychotic episode, and I ended up, hitting one of the cops that tried to help me. That was trying to calm me down. He was only trying to calm me down, and I just. I don't even, it was just...
Yeah, you were completely out of your mind.
I was out of my mind. I was in psychosis, I was in a psychotic break, what they call a psychotic break. And
so for people at home, people watching this, to describe what is a psychotic break, would be a break from reality.
I would say that.
Right?
That's
when you're
true.
no longer in touch with reality.
Absolutely.
And you're not even yourself anymore.
Exactly.
You're almost completely out of control.
No, you are not even a fraction of yourself. I mean, you've known me for years.
Sure.
I mean, I'm not the fighting type.
Yeah. Something snapped.
Yeah. It's the kind of flight from reality.
It's a psychotic break.
Flight from reality, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Okay, what year was that?
That was in 1999.
That was in 1999. Let's fast forward to now. What is your current diagnosis?
Current diagnosis is schizoaffective disorder. I guess that's a combination of bipolar and anxiety disorder, which I have as well.
Which you also
have with psychosis.
Yeah.
In the cards somewhere that's happened to us. That's what kind of gives it the schizoaffective disorder name, I guess.
Yeah, it's a kind of diagnosis that it has factors, attributes of bipolar disorder, and also some attributes of schizophrenia
and
anxiety. And psychosis is a very big thing with that. I had a psychosis about a year ago when I was in the Moscow airport. Some people know about that.
I know about that.
And
you called me.
Did I call you?
Yes,
I called a
me.
lot of people. I called a lot of people that time.
You called me. I was coming out of a show, and you called me.
Yes, I called you. You're my go-to person for that.
I remember, man. I remember.
Yeah.
I know. We know.
But I have to say, for me, getting treatment in Germany, I was really able to be treated perfectly, really, really great. The treatment was fantastic. I know it's just, we'll get back to you. But basically, they put me on a pill called risperidone, which is an antipsychotic, and it really, really helped. And now I take a very low dosage of it. But what I want to get to is, what were some of the medications that you took, and what were some of the side effects? Because I know I got lucky on this last one, where it's like I used to be on 4 different medications. Right. There were years when I was married, I was, waking up in the morning taking the pills. At night, I was taking a sleeping pill. In the morning, I couldn't even drive the car. I was like falling asleep at the wheel, swerving, almost hitting a truck and stuff like that. So I know that these medications can have a very heavy toll. So that's how I'd like to segue to you, talking about the medications and if there's anything that helped you, anything that held you back, anything that disturbed you.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm a lucky one. I get all the side effects.
Yeah, really.
I'm a lucky guy. So like that. Lamictal has been a really good medicine for me. Everybody's different. Everybody's different. The way I react to a certain medication may not be the way the next person reacts. But you're asking me to tell my story.
I want to talk about the
yeah. So the Geodon.
Yeah.
The Geodon. A lot of these antipsychotic medicines and mood stabilizers, they cause tremors and Parkinsonian effects. And extreme weight gain.
So it's like you have Parkinson's. It looks like you have Parkinson's.
Yeah, you have some certain tremors, and your head may shake or whatever. And what's happening is that I learned this later on. I also, my psychiatrist right now, I'm really she's kind of baffled by me because I really advocate for myself. I encourage everyone to advocate for yourself. I mean, we are the ones taking the medication.
What does that mean, to advocate?
To advocate to yourself, to stick up for yourself, to tell them honestly what's going on when you're inducing this medication into your body. when you're taking the medication into your body. They don't know. They're not the ones taking it. We're the ones taking it.
You have to tell them what's going on.
You have to tell them what's going on.
You have to be very vocal.
Absolutely. Very vocal. Very vocal.
Because otherwise they'll just keep medicating
They'll
you.
keep medicating you. Right.
More and more and more pills.
And you know, if you don't tell them what side effects are happening, how are they going to know? You know,
Right.
Some are obvious, some are not so obvious.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. And some doctors have a tendency to over-medicate as well.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Exactly. You know, a lot of doctors they tend to just up the meds. You know, you're not feeling well, up the med. You know, that's all.
Right.
Like it seems like they could do.
You couldn't possibly be just having a bad day.
Right.
They're gonna, make sure that you're,
raise it
on the right pharmaceutical combination, the cocktail.
Raise it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So the Geodon, anyway, the antipsychotics, what they do is they and some of the mood stabilizers, why you have the tremors and the shakes and Parkinsonian's effects is because what these drugs do is zap the dopamine in your brain. They lower the amounts of dopamine in your brain and serotonin. What we have is a chemical imbalance. So what these medicines are trying to do is balance them both out between the serotonin and dopamine especially. There's others, but mainly it's serotonin and dopamine. And what do Parkinson's patients have? They have abnormally low amounts of dopamine. Lack of dopamine. So what does dopamine control? One might ask, motor function.
Right.
So
it actually stopped you from doing
it. So it reared its ugly head about 12 years in. It performed its function. It performed its primary function, Todd. So that's why I continued to take it. I was out of the hospital for years, not a problem. Despite, so I dealt with the side effects. I dealt with the shaking and stuff like that and, other stuff it was giving me.
But what did it stop you from doing?
It stopped me from playing guitar.
For how long?
It stopped me playing guitar. I probably just got back into it, really back into it. So 2 years in this January, it would be 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
So you're back playing the guitar
now.
I'm
back playing now, yeah.
And it's great. We heard it.
Yeah.
This song, Polar.
Yes.
What's it about?
It's about really having an understanding, just a basic understanding of, in the first verse, I got a cast that you can't see, blinds my sight, my serenity, controlling my mind, poles are split, don't you understand, can't you understand? We often find ourselves, well, I can only speak for myself. People don't understand this shit, and there's such a stigma. There's such a stigma involved, and it's a lot of it's so bogus, but I felt like for a long time, like I was misunderstood.
You were misunderstood.
Yes, and now in my old age, I don't seek to be understood anymore.
What do you seek to be? What do you care about?
What do I seek to be? I seek to be just to not let the music, to not let the disorder define who I am. And who I am is really, a good, dependable father, loving father, loving friends, loving son, I strive to be these things.
Yeah, to be a good person.
To be a good person and not play victim to the mental illness.
Yes, because that could be an easy road to go.
I've been down it. I've been down it before, and it's
feeling sorry for yourself.
Yeah, I've learned, or that it mainly stemmed from people don't understand. They're not like me. I'm different, and they have a stigma against me.
And feeling like
that
a
is
victim.
unfair.
Right.
like I am treated unfairly, you know. All that stuff does not bother me anymore. I'm really glad that we're doing this, though. We're talking, raising awareness for mental illness, and, you know, don't, you know, and to not let it stop you, you know.
Yes. Great. Thank you. So basically, we only have a couple minutes left. It goes very quick. So two things. What would you like to tell the audience about mental illness? And what are some things that helped you to reduce symptoms?
Right. Tell the audience about mental illness.
I think we talked about that.
Yeah, I think we talked about that.
About not letting it define you.
Not letting it consume you.
Right.
You know?
So what are some things that helped? Or that helped?
Some things that helped. I wrote some stuff down. Drink lots of water.
Drink lots of water.
You know,
breathing.
Breathing. Deep breathing, meditation, those three, I mean, have helped me so much. I love acupuncture. Mm-hmm. It works for me. It really kind of slows me down, calms me down. 5 senses, you know, see, hear, taste, touch, smell. 5 things you can see in the moment, you know, just being present, you know. That has a lot to do with mindfulness. Mindfulness is the same thing. And DBT, dialectical behavioral therapy, and cognitive behavioral therapy, it's kind of all manifest into mindfulness. You know, is to just being mindful of yourself, being present. I am calm. You know, I am here. I am present. I am calm. You know, I like that mantra. That works for me.
Good. We only have about a minute. Do you have something that you'd like to read for the audience?
Yeah, I would. This is a thing that my son came up with last night when he was practicing his dribbling outside in the dark. And then I came out there and was talking to him, and he goes, I look up in the night sky, and whichever star is the brightest is the one I'm going to reach for. And I mean, you know, I have the greatest kid. You know, I swear to God, he's, you know, he's beyond his years. And also this ties with mental illness too. I don't hide this from him. I don't hide my illness from him. I'm open with it. I actually talked about today what we're doing right now with him. Great. You know, I feel, you know, I'm on the side of the fence where, you know, I want to talk, be open with him about it.
Very good. You know? And being open about the subject is something that is very helpful, I think.
And reach for the stars. Reach for the stars, ladies and gents.
So we're about out of time. Thank you so much, Joe, for coming on the program. Joseph Nott, I'm Todd Goldfinger, and this has been Conversations about Mental Health. Thank you.